Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu kiosco.
Hello. First of all, thank you so much for this interview. Congratulations for the film.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask you about your character. What attracted you to this character? What made you think, okay, I want to play Athena?
So, first and foremost, as an actor, when you're looking at doing any project, obviously it's the sum of the parts, and sometimes all the parts don't add up together, but you maybe make the choice because one thing just feels really good. But for this, the first thing that really drew me in was the script. It was, I thought, great writing. I thought it had so much heart and humor, while also having a conversation that I think is so timely and important about artificial intelligence, about what we might create with it, and about what can happen depending on whose hands it's in. Also, Athena was just a really cool character, just very cool, And knowing what I knew about the franchise, I was excited about stepping into something that seemed so cool and interesting that I've already had like this. It has a patina to it. It does. Because it's like one of the coolest, I think, sci-fi properties out there. And I love sci-fi. I love action and adventure. These are the kind of films that I love to go to the cinema for. And so I was excited about getting to work on something like this.
How's it to play a program?
It's so interesting because obviously, most roles, there is a human element to it that you can sort of draw from your own experience to take into. Whereas, obviously, there's nothing human about Athena, and I've never played a robot, and I'm not a robot. But what was interesting was sort of finding that curiosity, because while she is this advanced and she might say superior entity, there's also, in our movie, the programs are coming into the real world. All the other Tron movies, it's been about humans going onto the grid. And in ours, it was about this program entering to the real world. And so for me, I thought it was more interesting to kind of be in the conversation of just even that little bit of curiosity, because everything that she's experiencing is in some way new for her. While she carries all of that knowledge because she knows much, she's never stepped foot into that world or actually interacted with a human being or the human world. So it was interesting to play that kind of curiosity of like, okay, this is something brand new.
And I also have a feeling that you mentioned the human element. First time we met Athena, she's a program. She has no feelings, but as the movie goes, she starts to develop human feelings. She feel wrath and curiosity and a lot of things that we think are human, but she is developing. How's been that progression of the character?
I'm so glad that was your interpretation, because that's really what I wanted to portray. That, yes, she's not a human, but she's having an experience that is also affecting her, just as Ares is having an experience, but his is more going along, he's feeling compassion and empathy, but I feel Athena was experiencing things that she didn't think, things that you might consider weaknesses in humans, like jealousy or rage or anger. You would think that someone who is a program, who's not human, then you would kind of exist in the middle, right? Nothing is going to make you get very emotional. But we find that these programs are actually getting very emotional. And I really hope people take that away from this for Athena, is that she was also becoming emotional, but it was different kinds of emotions that caused her to wreak a bit of havoc.
Emotions that are maybe too much for them, it's like they were children learning how to cope with emotions.
Exactly. It's like, I have a daughter, a 5-year-old, and that's the thing about raising children, right? Is we're teaching them that, because children are so innocent and so pure in that everything is honest, you know, there's responses they're having, and we as adults, it's our job to teach them how to not let those emotions rule them, how to feel them without being destroyed by them or being controlled by them, you know. And I think that for Athena, she was having that sort of childlike experience, but there was nobody there to sort of guide her in that sense, right? Because you've got this completely unhinged Dillinger, played by the amazing Evan Peters, who isn't thinking about the fact that, like, oh, I need to clock how she's responding and teach her how to respond. Then you have Ares having his experience with somebody who is showing him and modeling for him how to respond to the things that are, you know, those darknesses that we as humans deal with that throw us off piste.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I hope you love the film.
Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu kiosco.